Hello everyone, my name is AP the Weird One, and we are back with episode 7 of Full Metal Panic. The last part for the light novel, which we'll get into next week. But yeah, or I guess for the end of volume 1. It's basically a battle between Garon and our man Sasuke and their specialized armed slave units. We have the silver one, the Codrile, and then we have Sosuke's Arbalest. The beginning episode, it features the Arbalest destroying the enemy's savages like nobody's business. He just comes in clean. But eventually, it doesn't take very long before Garon makes his appearance, and the two are duking it out. It's a pretty back and forth battle, a lot of flash, a lot of super speed. It kind of looks like a very slowed down version of a Dragon Ball fight, Dragon Ball Z fight. They're blasting each other. It's a lot of action packed, but eventually it gets to the point that Garon unleashes the Codrile's secret weapon, what is known as the Lambda Drive, which basically turns emotions and the spirit of a person to a weapon. Essentially, it can be considered like the Force, a kind of a belief system, like a visible shield of sorts. It's kind of interesting, and it's not something very logical. You have to kind of believe in, and if your emotions are stronger, then they can surpass the enemy. So he fires. When Sosuke fires at him, he decides to unleash it, and he fires back at him. And he thinks this is kind of the end, or at least Kurt thought it was at the end, because that's what happened to his machine. And it's actually this episode has a lot of very good beauty to it, but this is kind of a visual representation of what it looks like to when the Lambda Drive activates and it fires back. So he fires this, and Sosuke is able to survive because he believed that he needed to be protected, that he can block the machinery, block the tech. He's able to do. He doesn't realize that he was able to do it, and his AI tells him, or Al says, the Lambda Drive is full active. It's time to go to work. And he doesn't, and he's like, okay, but he's not fully understanding it. Well, this is going on a little bit in between. Kurt and Chidori are having they're watching the battlefield. Chidori has her whispered moment, and she's just kind of rattling off information. She's like, these two are equal, but if Sosuke doesn't do anything, if he doesn't figure it out, he's going to lose. Chidori has to basically hit her head on a tree just to kind of get her brain to kind of slow down, and she radios in. Sosuke tells him that you have the Lambda Drive, you have this weapon. He tells him about the Lambda Drive. It's like a weapon based off the spirit of an individual, and you have to basically believe that you can do it. He doesn't get in first, but eventually Chidori kind of gives him an imagery. Imagine him raping me and killing me. Try to give that visualization to his head. And, if you just breathe and listen to my words, we'll get through this. And he's able to do it. And the Lambda Drive for this one, we don't get to see the best frontal view for this. Give me a sec, but we do get to see kind of like a bit of a behind shot. This kind of opens up kind of like I guess the Strike Freedom Gundam or Freedom Gundam sort of backside a little bit. Not as elegant, but still good. So they have a quick knife battle, but eventually it turns into a one shot when Chidori delivers the orders and say, you got to do this. Just breathe and believe my words when I tell you fire. And they just it's just a giant big explosion. And Sosuke's belief outperforms Garon, and we believe that he is dead for the time being. It's kind of like a very beautiful explosion because both Lambda Drives are active at the moment. But that's essentially, we have that battle, and then they move on to the destination of meeting up with the submarine, the Titan as it's known as. While they're running, the enemy is on their forces, helicopters, more AS the savages. Kurt makes a comment about how the ASs are not very good for carrying injured people because he's just carrying the arms, but nothing can be doing about that. as they're approaching, the enemies are surrounded. Sosuke has to throw Chidori up in the air. Kurt says, "You're gonna pay for that big time," and he swings around his gun. If he had more knowledge of the AS of the Lambda drive and know how to use it and everything, he probably could have repelled all the attacks. Just when they fire the blast, he could just sort of repel it right back at him. So it's going to be a work in progress. I'll just say that it's not necessarily guaranteed victory. He's going to have to learn. He's going to have to learn to trust the system to work in his favor. But they make their way to the edge. Submarine is there. Mal is ready to save them. She takes care of the enemy forces as they make their leap into the sub, and that they make it safely home. The submarine, as soon as they're on board, they're able to quickly move and leave, and that's something that will come up a little bit later in just a few minutes. But as Sosuke is examining the machine, Callan talks to him, talks about the Whispered and everything, how the ECS, the invisible system, and also the submarine itself and its quick maneuverability, the robots and everything, and the Lambda drive. It's a product of black technology, futuristic technology. And I think it's in some ways it's still even more futuristic to our society. Like the Lambda drive is something we don't have in today's society. But they make a little comment, and he says, "We've made sure that what has been found out through the research has been bogus about Chidori, but we want some insurance." And we just leave it at that. We get cut to the hospital, and we get some absolutely beautiful lighting in the hospital. Just the sunrise. Mal and Chidori are talking. So Mal gives her a bit of a cover story on what to say. She's been out for a couple days, sleeping. She was given this drug, and then she doesn't remember anything. Stick to that story. And they have a little chat. Mal's very thankful for saving her men, because without her, they would have been lost. Because behind every good man is a good woman. So they needed someone like her, someone level-headed, and to help them out and carry this through. And also, being a Whisperer isn't a bad thing as well. But she leaves. She tells him, is she ever going to see Sosuke again? It's he's been on another assignment. And I'm surprised the animators just didn't make her a little snarkiness to us, the audience, but they just kind of kept a cool face, because just a couple minutes later, the students come in. The teacher appears out of nowhere right in front of Chidori's bed, right here in the area. And then Sosuke is not shortly behind. He's come here as insurance. And she's super happy. Chidori's oh, good, my boyfriend is here. But the end of the episode is cut to then they have to get some papers, and he uses a smoke bomb that unleashes the sprinkler system, and they run away. Chidori is, of course, not happy. And she yells at him, can't you use any common sense? For once, she just gets mad at him. But yeah, that's the end of the episode, and we do get a preview for the next episode, which is still part of the light novel. It's beginning of the second volume. Overall, I don't know, I like episode 6 a lot more. This was just, it was a fun battle. It was a fun battle and everything, but it was kind of expected. I guess a continuation of the B movie scenario. It's a good end to a part, and from a novel's perspective, I'm curious to how things will be, and how the novel is. I do know one thing. I won't spoil it, but there is a detail in the novel that's a bit different, and it's, I guess, it's not necessarily a funny thing, but it's an interesting thing to discuss. But with that, I'll see you guys next time. Like I said, I like the episode. It was fine. The animation it's weird. It's not necessarily bad animation, but considering that we were some of the early 2000s, we've had something like Cowboy Bebop and even Outlaw Star, it feels on the lesser end of animation. I don't know. Those just looked a lot better, and I think even Trigon. So it's a weird. But like I said, I don't hate this series. It's you could just tell it's a B, kind of a B movie series anyway. But I'll see you guys next time for the novel sometime next week. We'll shoot for Wednesday. Yeah, we'll shoot for Wednesday. I think that would be a good day to try to get it done. But I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you have a wonderful day. Catch you guys later.